What's going on, guys? Danny here from Metal Couch, bringing you an album review, and forgive me, I have a bit of a scratchy throat. My allergies after mowing the lawn today, doing some lawn work, they've been getting to me and they kind of hurt my throat a little bit. So, forgive me if I'm a little too quiet with this one, but I managed to listen to Dragonforce's new album, The Power Within. And naturally, I had promised during my track review of Fallen World that I would bring you this album review the second that I get to it. So, going through the track listing here, we have Holding On, Fallen World, Cry Thunder, Give Me the Night, Wings of Liberty, Seasons, Heart of the Storm, Die by the Sword, and Last Man Stands. Now, there is a special edition floating out there which also has Seasons, which is an acoustic version, a live version of Cry Thunder, an alternate version of Heart of the Storm, and forgive me if I butcher this pronunciation, I'm not that good with certain foreign languages, but Avant la Tempête, an instrumental. Forgive me if I butchered that. But The Power Within, going into this album with the first three opening tracks, including Fallen World, I feel like that if you have been a fan of Dragonforce for a while, more notably in the Inhuman Rampage and Ultra Beatdown periods in their career, then you'll be right at home with these three opening tracks. To me, they sound just they sound like the Dragonforce from those two albums. They could have easily fit in on Inhuman Rampage or even Ultra Beatdown. Also worth noting on this album is that the track lengths. There isn't a track in here that's extremely long like we've seen on past albums like Sonic Firestorm or even on Inhuman Rampage and even Valley of the Damned. In fact, they've really shortened the lengths down on these tracks to mostly around the 4 and 5 minute mark. The longest track being Wings of Liberty, which clocks in at a little over 7 minutes. And I feel like this works to Dragonforce's advantage. I feel like that if they are to continue to follow this formula, they will be a lot more successful in not only gaining new fans, but possibly even the hardcore fans could learn to love this a little bit more. I know that there's going to be people out there who are like, I miss having the 3-minute, 4-minute long Dragonforce guitar solos. And for a lot of people, that was a problem with past Dragonforce albums, is that the solos were they were too long, too intense for however long they were. Even though I disagree with that, I believe that there are some solos throughout their albums that are really great. I mean, like, look at Disciples of Babylon from Valley of the Damned. I think that, that's a track I think is around, it's a little over 7 minutes as well. And it's full of soloing acoustic passages. It's all around, it's a great track and album. However, with the new singer Mark Hudson, after listening through this album as a whole, there's not much difference between him and their past singer ZP Thart. I believe that on some tracks I was a bit confused, is most notably on the opening to Wings of Liberty and Last Man Stands. These passages are so clean that it doesn't even sound like Dragonforce. In fact, Wings of Liberty's intro, the piano that works with it, the soft, clean singing from Mark Hudson, almost reminds me of like shopping in a department store. And then those blazing fast guitars from Sam Topman and Herman Lee kick in, and you're like, okay, this is Dragonforce. Some tracks that I would like to note, we left off with Cry Thunder, but the next track, track 4, Give Me the Night, this is what I want to hear from Dragonforce. Metal fans who have criticized Dragonforce for not being metal enough will love this track. Give Me the Night, it sounds like a fast-paced power metal song that I can really get behind. Give Me the Night is probably my favorite track off of this album. After that, we have Wings of Liberty, which, again, the most notable part is that super clean intro with great vocal performance from uh, Mark Hudson, who I believe at this point, even though there are some points on this album where he sounds nearly identical to their past singer, I still believe him to be the superior vocal force of Dragonforce. Now, with all of this being said, there are other tracks on here: Seasons, Heart of the Storm, Die by the Sword, and then the ending track, Last Man Stands. I feel that The Power Within suffers from the same problem Ultra Beatdown did, and that's there isn't enough variety in The Power Within. Yes, there's Give Me the Night, which I love. It's drastically different. Fallen World as a single is again, I liked Fallen World in my track review. I believe I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10, maybe. I can't rightly remember. But I just can't shake the feeling that over time this album won't be memorable at all. For example, I believe Valley of the Damned, their first album, is their best album. This was an album that there are several tracks on here that I can't forget: Disciples of Babylon, Black Winter Night, Black Fire, the title track. There are so many powerful songs on that debut album. And even on Sonic Firestorm with Soldiers of the Wasteland, um, Once in a Lifetime, Fury of the Storm, which has garnered a lot of Guitar Hero fame. And then Inhuman Rampage took a little bit of a different type of thing, and with Through the Fire and Flames being probably their most successful track to date. And another track that I really like off of that album is Cry for Eternity. Other than that, I can't really remember any other track from Inhuman Rampage. Ultra Beatdown, I think I can remember. I believe there's Inside the Winter Storm I can remember, and Heroes of Our Time, the single. Other than that, again, it's not memorable. So I believe that The Power Within suffers from the same problems as the previous two albums. They're just not memorable. I mean, the material, if you didn't like Dragonforce before this album, this isn't going to convert you with this new singer. If you did enjoy Dragonforce before, but if you're like me and you prefer more of the Valley of the Damned Sonic Firestorm era compared to the Inhuman Rampage or Ultra Beatdown era, then you're probably going to find this album to not be as memorable as those. Personally, if I had to give this album a grade, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. With some highlight tracks here and there, some tracks that sound a little bit different from the Dragonforce formula. Overall, I can't see myself having this album in constant rotation, whether it be on gaming devices, mobile music players, or any other form. I can't see myself adding this album to any other major playlist. In fact, I think the only thing that I'll probably add to my iPod and gaming playlist is probably Give Me the Night. Other than that, this album is chock full of the same problems that Ultra Beatdown had. So again, a 6 out of 10 from me. Please forgive my soft voice for this review, but Danny here for Metal Couch, signing off.